All right, I know you asked me about another on that other one. I'll address that here just quickly, but let me just roll through this one. It's not washed, which I don't like. Just from a presentation standpoint, I can get through the dirt. It's not a big deal. It was washed when it first came in, so it doesn't have like the road grime. It just has the stuff that we get out here in the yard. So it's adobe, like it's crappy soil we have out here, but it's good. It's clean stuff, just muddy. So main thing, obviously, who cares about mud? That'll come off. Is we're looking for torque pockets, as I say in all my videos. So the first one, there's 10 total, 11 if you include the radiator. Apologize, I know I'm talking freaking weird right now, but it's so freaking cold out here. So your main one, or your main 10, or we'll count them off. 1, and that's clean, nice clean threads. 2, no collapsing. That's the big thing, right? You don't want to see this at all starting to collapse or even remotely look like it. And then 3, okay, and then 4, and then you got your corners, which is 5. These ones almost always break. Those ones are super clean, and they do flow. That's supposed to. It helps them align. 5, 6, and then look at your back skirting. This area is always really nice to look at because just like the underside of tailgates. Let's see if I can get make sure this one. Some of these have been pulled, but there's no rust on that, even up underneath that gasket. So that's what we want to see. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I got dirt sticking there. But main thing is this here, and even the seams here. Look how clean the seams are. Again, it was here another day. I just washed it for you. But you can see this stuff. It is really nice. They almost always, if they're rusty at all, start bleeding out rust right in these areas here. So there's your nice little access hole there. But let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7, perfect. 8, perfect, absolutely perfect. And then I think I miscounted. It's supposed to be 10, so you get the picture. It's cold. All right, so as far as that's beautiful. Underside floor, excellent. It's still got the factory undercoating shields. We usually pull this stuff off, but it can all go with it. And it'll save you a little bit of time. Not a lot, but those are usually rusted out and hard to pull anyway for somebody on your end. Our end, it's easy because there's no rust on it. Okay, so it has some hinges. Again, we usually strip them down, but that will save you some long run. Strikers are on this one. There's your roll bar. Being that this is all on here, if you did decide to go with a set of doors, and I'll show you those here in a second, then we could just hang them, and it's super easy to transport, and they're good. This has got, right, probably they had a strike, they probably had a guard or something on this. It's got a little bit bleeding through right there, but definitely want to get it, wire wheeled out of there. But it doesn't look like it penetrates down too much on that side. Oh, I remember this tub. I remember this is the only thing on this whole thing. So besides that and that goofy ass cutout, which again, you're right, they do have. I even have the liners on this one. We always pull these. These are actually kind of expensive. So that little stuff, if it makes the deal happen. There's a little dinger here, but there's nothing here on that side. That lower rocker's perfect. Firewall's perfect. Windshield frame, perfect. Again, roll bar and tailgate. So this one, because it's ready to rock, essentially, would be ideal. But obviously, you can always, there's always down the road, like I said. So now this one back here is a 06. It's only got like 65K on it, but it's got a 2.4. And the motors are worth quite a bit on these because they're kind of turd motors. So we'd pull that, save you, because they're kind of expensive motors. It's got I think this is a manual, but it wouldn't work in a 6-cylinder if you use a 6-cylinder anyway. And the frames are different on these, but the frame itself is the same. Actually, it's identical to a 6-cylinder, but they move the motor mounts. Yeah, this has got a 6-speed in it. But this 6-speed will not work in a 4-liter 6-speed. We actually have an SG 370s, that's what that is, but it's a 4-cylinder version. I have one in stock right now that you could put in an early one that people convert to every once in a while. And then everything else is the same on them, the boot, the shifter, everything. But like I said, I mean, unless you're wanting to already have a 4-cylinder and want a 4-cylinder, I mean, this one runs, although it needs a new gearbox at the front. This one does not have a clean title because that's exactly what they broke on it, and how they broke it. It's not part of the frame, and why they would have salvaged it for that, kind of odd. But I've heard of that happening on these Mercedes gearboxes. They did these on 0306. It's got a couple of little dingers. That probably wasn't accident related, because I mean, look at the thing. It's no rust on it. It's got a fender dent there, but the rest of it, I mean, it's solid as can be. So there's advantages on going to something like this and pricing it that way. And I know I think you told me you already had a frame. You know, our frames are super clean. I sold, well, I have one more 6-cylinder over there actually, but if you were going to do this, something like this, I would tell you save the time and effort to strip it all the way down to that level, because you're not going to need to on this thing, and then simply cut the motor mounts, have them re-weld those on, and those are not the same between 4 and 6 cylinders, so you can move yours over or just buy new ones. And this one we just put on a different load if we were going to do it that way, and then just transfer your dash over. Essentially is the way that LJ I sold earlier. I gotta go move that tub down before it falls off, but that would be the way to do it. We would look at this one as pricing everything that we're looking at essentially, and then we knock off what we would charge for labor, or not charge for labor, but what we would essentially have in for labor. And then also, so that would save you some of that. And then we'd also do bulk pricing as a package on it. And you know, if you wanted the seats, this one's beautiful, rear's beautiful, and this is an Apex edition. Again, it wouldn't come up as that on yours because you'd end up swapping your dash over, at least your VIN stuff over. But this has got an agate black dash. These are only in those late years, so a lot of people like that. You'd want to swap your gauges over. You'd want to have this pulled and swap your heater box. Well, actually, I take that back. You wouldn't have to do. You could actually keep a lot of that peripheral stuff, but your harnesses, some of that stuff, you'd have to get with me later on some of that, because that gets in a little bit more details. Not hard to do, just would want to make sure that we're on the same, you know, side as far as exactly how to do it, and make sure that you or your mechanic knows what they're getting into. Not hard, very easy, but definitely harnesses do not mix and match on these, especially in these later years. So you'd want to use a lot of the harnesses on your early stuff, and everything would mount the same as far as that goes. Your cowling is probably the same, or you might have a 3-vent one. Some of the early ones had those. This is a single vent. This has got you know, the single washer, versus the older hoods had sometimes 2 nozzles on them, but again, nothing hard on that. The windshield frames are essentially the same on the outside. You can actually use them on each other, but this 0306 has got the plastic clad molding on it. They use a little different visors. The roll bars are the same, but they use different foam padding, so they give it more of a bulky look, and they last a little bit more. There's a little bit more just kind of a beefy look they got them, and the seat belts are about the same on that. So but seats are made way better, way more comfortable seats on these later ones. And then I haven't checked the ratio on these, but normally 4 cylinders got especially with the manual, typically you got a 4:10 ratio, so that would be probably an upgrade, because usually 6-cylinder manuals got 307 or 355, and automatics always got 373, so it kind of just depends on what you had there. But if you had an auto or manual, it wouldn't matter. You can, all that stuff switches over. So I'll shoot this off just in case. As said before, he's about to peel out of here, isn't he? So, and don't, by no means, I mean, my wife is here with me. I'm the king at adding stuff in at the very end of trips, usually when I do them. But, you know, I told this guy I would do what I can. And if you're interested in going this route, you know, there's obviously more work on this one as far as just doing it. But if it's the same color, that one is, Kira, what color was that 06? It's a slightly different blue than the midnight. So those are called midnight blue on that 03 to 06. Oh, is that, so this is Patriot Blue, and that was a 1 year only midnight blue on that guy. So it would, obviously that would be significantly more, but it might save you significantly more on the labor side of things. So midnight blue, this is probably what you have, or close to it, because I did those colors for many years. But anyway, I'm going to fire this off to you and just tell this guy to hang tight for a minute. And on this guy here, I'll shoot you a number over. I usually don't put them in videos just because our videos stay out for, I mean, some of our videos are up for 15, 20 years, and people will call and I'll have listed a price and I'm like, hey, I'm getting, 10 years later. I'm like, oh, they're a little bit more than 10 years ago. So anyway, but for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, that's okay. Hopefully you have been in your warm house while you're watching me freeze my ass off and doing what I love to do. I really do. I'm complaining, but I'm not. Is really, what provides for us, what we enjoy doing, my wife and I both, and our guys that work out here with us. So call us if you need any Jeep parts. We have 7 acres, rust-free. Jeremy here. As always, appreciate everything. Merry Christmas to you guys. 303-666-9020 on partsbreakers.com. And our new website should be up first quarter. Right now, we have not been maintaining things, so not a lot is updated on our site right now, but that'll all be done first part of next year.